Hello, everyone. Welcome to Word Funk. I'm Leon Thomas. I'm joined by Johnny Maloney and Austin Yorsky.
For once.
Yeah.
What?
I guess.
That was irony, Austin.
I don't think it was anyway.
Ironic.
Yeah.
Not what that means. Leon, what's up?
So last week, you went out of your way to engross yourself with like hours upon hours of Star Trek stuff because you know that me and Johnny like it a whole lot, and I appreciate you giving our interests your attention.
I already know where this is going.
So how much Magic the Gathering did you play, Leon?
Oh, none at all. And I feel like this is exactly the same amount of effort, Austin. I listened to 2 minutes of a Kanye West song today.
Oh, the 2-minute one he just released?
I don't know if he just released it, but it is 2 minutes.
How would you describe the dick energy in the song, Leon?
No.
It's actually really gross. The song is called "I Love It."
Yes,
and
he literally just released this.
Oh, okay. It's not just by Kanye West. It also has someone named Lil Pump in it.
He demands you pronounce it like that.
Yeah, and also a woman named Adele Givens is also in this song and also music video. So I would like to briefly talk about it as tribute to you, Austin.
I'm excited to get your perspective because I know you're a really big Lil Pump fan. You were an early adopter of Gucci Gang. Gucci Gang, Gucci Gang.
Yeah.
I was into Lil Pump back when he was Baby Pump. So
They grow up so fast, those pumps.
They really do.
Leon, of course, famous for his other podcast, SoundCloud Rapper Corner,
Right.
where he really gets deep in the obscure artists.
Okay, so let me explain. For anyone who has not heard the song, I will just briefly explain and paraphrase what happens in it rather than...
Yeah, let us tell you about the number one song in the country, because you need to be told, not us.
I've not heard this song. I mean,
I assume that a lot of our audience has not heard the song yet.
When somebody says Kanye West, I just get a maelstrom of confusing emotions.
He's like one of the only people on Twitter I've blocked. So,
and that's saying something considering you just released an anti-Gamergate video.
Yeah, like it's fine. But anyway, so here's what happens in this song. A woman named Adele Givens, who I do not know, but she has a legitimate complaint and says that when she has sex with men, sometimes they're not very giving, and she just wants to have a good time, and she's not going to like fake it. And this is a real grievance that I feel like was good that they brought forward in this song. And then it was like, oh, so this song is going to be very empowering. But no, Lil Pump interjects and he's like, suck my dick, it's good when you do it. He just kind of goes on like that. He calls women hoes. He's like, yeah, you're a dirty hoe and also my dick. About a minute into the song, Kanye shows up. And he more or less just co-signs everything Lil Pump said. he doesn't offer a fresh new perspective.
He shows up and he's all like, "I'm Kanye West, and I approve this message."
It's kind of a character reference.
Right.
Yeah, this isn't like that Gautier song where like 2/3 of the way through the song, the main person in the song is challenged and you're like, oh, it's a different perspective now. And now
Leon's so confused by the concept of a feature on a rap song. What? This isn't a different perspective at all.
Yeah, they just really.
I was hoping for some rigorous debate here.
Right, they just really want their dick sucked, and they decided to also have a woman on the album because that is presumably who they want to do it. So Lord. I didn't like this song at all. It made me feel bad listening to it. It's gross, and I didn't like it.
Hearing you analyze music is so wild because as someone who analyzes films for a living, I thought you would be better at it, but your famous The Weeknd review where you're like, this is a really by-the-numbers love song, and it was a tragic breakup song is something that sticks with me.
Don't care. Like it was so boring that I didn't care.
In the same way, it's important. Okay,
this is actually interesting about the song. See, in addition to this song, all the lyrics being gross and not cool, It's also just really tired. Like, it's weak. Like, they're not energetic about what it is they're talking about. They have this kind of like kind of energy that they're bringing into the song. It's like sad rap.
Yeah, it's called mumble rap. It's a SoundCloud fad right now. I don't know if it's a fad.
Okay.
Maybe that's dismissive. It's the popular style. Migos is in there. Lil Pump. It used to be the guy who just died. XXS Tentacion, 6ix9ine.
Who was a scumbag.
Oh yeah, not just abusive, but like apparently like kidnappy. Very bad.
Okay, well that's fine if that's the trend.
What Austin is trying to say is that this kind of music really breeds healthy male egos.
Yeah,
okay.
It is to hip hop as emo was to like alternative rock, where the selling point is the male vulnerability, but it's mostly a place where like mostly is strong. There's a lot of abuse,
also known as wet goth.
Yeah.
I didn't find this very vulnerable at all. It seemed very aggressive.
Well, no, it's what I'm saying. It's a lot of there are a lot of abusers in the scene who use the vulnerability as kind of a Venus flytrap to be shitty.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I wasn't into not only like the vibe of the song, like what they were trying to put out there, but also just literally the sound of it just felt really tired, and like they were very sleepy when they decided to talk about women sucking their dicks, is what I'm trying to say.
That was one of the things that people talk about the 90s as like the golden age of hip hop, but one of the things about hip hop in like the late 90s that really bothered me was how dull it was.
The flow on songs like this is meant to evoke the feeling of being on like Xanax or something. It's you're supposed to have kind of a slurred, sleepy, as you said, affect to it, because it's trying to evoke that kind of drug sensation. Usually, if done intentionally.
Yeah, I hated it a lot. I put a rap song in my latest video, and that is a song that I like because it has a lot of energy behind it. Also, although they are definitely talking about mugging a lot of people in that song, which I also do not condone. I also feel like, I don't know your story. I don't know where you're coming from. Maybe you had to do that to survive, and then it became part of your culture. I mean, at least it's not gross. At least you're just trying to put food on the table. And I don't care if rich guys get their diamonds stolen anyway. So it's fine.
So here's the context for this song, which is woefully missing. It is, I want to say, a bad song. The lyrics are bad. The beat actually is pretty good. Like, I'm not gonna, as much as Kanye West disgusts me, like he did good work here. The context is that the woman in the song is a comedian, and the spoken word bit is from one of her bits, how she talks about how sexuality has changed. So you know, for most of women's history, women really didn't get a say, and now in these more liberated times, women can demand satisfaction. At least that's the theory.
Yeah, that was her monologue, but the rest of the songs seemed to be not reinforcing that. It seemed to be like not that at all.
Well, yes, the song was, I believe, debuted at some kind of porn awards recently. Oh, God. And the idea of using that sample, I believe it is from like her stand-up, it is to have, it's kind of like a sex-positive anthem where she's like, women need to demand to come. And he's like, and then the rappers come in and they're like, you're a hoe and I love it. It's great that you are you own your sexuality, and you should be a hoe. It's cool. That's the intended message.
What you're missing here, Leon, is that Kanye West is a genius because he says so.
No, his bars are straight up trash in the song. I could do better. I could rap better than Kanye does in this song. I'm saying I don't think Leon accurately portrayed the subject matter.
No, I'm sorry. It's not good enough for me on that level. No.
I mean, the hook is good.
No. It's there. What hook? It's just the same sleepy, like, I'm half awake and I've decided to talk about dicks sound throughout the entire thing.
In fairness, that describes about 80% of our podcasting style.
I'm sorry, but I don't in any way find that what they were saying in the song to be about female empowerment. It really sounded like, oh, good, now I can be selfish about my dick sucking, because so long as you're No.
I mean, yeah, I agree.
The message gets muddied really, really badly.
Lyrics are bad. Yeah. They're aiming for something. That's Kanye's whole thing, is that he speaks with the eloquence of like a drunk 12-year-old grasping for some kind of profundity. He's constantly on Twitter just being like, love is the only thing that's stronger than thinking for yourself.
Yeah. abolish the 13th Amendment.
I wasn't going to go there. Yeah, he recently said abolish the 13th Amendment, which is the thing that outlawed slavery. What he meant was that the 13th Amendment has an exception for basically forcing labor on prisoners, which is obviously a bad thing. But he didn't articulate that. And also he said...
What?
Abraham Lincoln,
Kanye West wasn't articulate?
He also said Abraham Lincoln might have been black.
Yeah. I saw that. I unfortunately did see that, even though, again, I have blocked him, but people will not stop tweeting about him. So I just felt like today...
I don't know why we're here.
Yeah, I just felt like today I might as well go ahead and do something that Austin's into. And now I did it, and I'm done.
I obviously have been thinking about Kanye a lot. I think about him most days because I still enjoy a lot of his music, and it's so frustrating the kind of person he is, and we do this a lot, so I won't linger. But he is this thing constantly and publicly now where he's acting like what dumb people think smart people are.
Jesus.
Where you say like cryptic shit that sounds like it has some kind of secret meaning. Like he thinks he talks like a David Lynch film where you can just unravel the mercurial truth of it all.
He's read The Secret like 5 times.
Yeah, but the secret at the center of every fortune cookie he hands out is David Shapiro, what's his name? Ben Shapiro said that actually black people have it great.
Sure they do.
That's the message of like everything he says. It's bad, and he has been. I mean, obviously he was diagnosed as bipolar, so he is mentally ill, and I'm not saying that that's a contributing factor or anything, but
he's myopic. Like
he's anti-intellectual.
Yeah,
he built his career.
He's so self-focused. That guy that that's never read a book in his life but smokes way
God,
too
he
much
would love
pot.
books. If he ever figured out that there are books in the world, he would flip his shit, dude. They're full of ideas and thinking.
That guy that's like, whoa, wait a minute. Are you even real?
What if both sides have a point? Whoa.
God.
I was just say he built his entire career. All his early albums are about college. He has, college dropout, graduation. That's like those are the names of the albums, and they deal with that experience. And what a lot of people took away from it, and partially this is true because what the albums are about, is how people are expected to go there when they don't really have their lives figured out. All Falls Down, like his big breakout single, was about like a girl who goes to college and she can't drop out because her parents are looking at her funny, that whole thing. And it's like, it spoke to a generation of people who were like, the old way, we should challenge the old ways and not be tied to this one way of living. And it felt rebellious. But now you go back and listen to it and it's like, oh, he just didn't want to read or think. He's literally just anti-intellectual. He just doesn't want to do it.
Yeah. Yeah, doesn't want to accept other people's ideas.
But he thinks it's very important that people have other ideas, and you should listen. You should start a dialogue. He tweeted at Colin Kaepernick, "Oh, you should meet with Trump." Like, oh, that's the thing that'll turn him around. Trump hasn't been an evil racist for 70 years because that's who he is. It's because he just hasn't talked to a black person yet.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
That'll change everything. And
the relationship between Trump and Kanye is so like my black friend. You remember that? You remember that old Stephen Colbert gag?
Yeah.
Like that is so it. And it's absolutely amazing that Kanye doesn't know that. I'm sorry, Yee.
No, it's yes. Also, there's like 12 stories in the news about him, so we had to go down them one by one. Yeah. Also, he changed his name to Ye.
Yeah. Sorry, Ye. It just it's spelled Ye.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was totally cool with just making fun of 2 minutes of music, but if you guys want to go off, like,
go off, Kings.
This is the thing. I don't give a wet fart about Kanye West. I don't.
Okay.
But
and yet, here we are.
But well, this is the thing: is that like he is like I cannot deny the fact that he is a shaper of thoughts in like popular culture. This is what disturbs me the most about him.
One of his tweets will impact pop culture more than every single podcast we've ever done put together.
Yeah.
So,
you know, like I am into music. I love music, but the thing is that like, you know, none of the music I listen to, well, practically none of the music I listen to, has anywhere near the amount of cultural clout that Kanye West has. And he can sit on a private jet and wear a MAGA hat. And people will see that photo and be like, oh, maybe Trump's not so bad.
it is very skeleton memes. It's very like, you never thought of it that way before, huh? Did I just blow your mind? Are you impressed?
Yeah. And he's,
Are you
like,
offended?
The thing is that he's talking to people who think the same way.
Yeah, that is, of course, the funniest thing, is the people he's gathered around him publicly, like Ben Shapiro and Candace Owens, do not give a shit about his art. They, in fact, dislike it pretty vocally. Ben Shapiro, I think, was sampled on a Kendrick Lamar track once, talking about how rap is the worst thing to ever happen to black people. The important thing is that he agrees with their big wet president.
Yeah.
So, also, Jesus, I just looked at the file and we are 16 minutes in. I apologize profusely. I know our audience doesn't care about this man, but he won't go away.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Yeah. Sorry, Leon.
No, I have more to say, but it might be out of line. So let's.
Was it about the costumes in the "I Love It" video? Because those are big.
No, just
Are those the
mind.
Roblox costumes?
Yes.
I don't know what they're called, but yeah, they're bad.
Roblox is like Minecraft except bad.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Minecraft is Minecraft but bad.
Yeah,
but...
I was trying to rile you up.
Hey!
Thank you.
Hey!
What? Yeah.
Minecraft in VR is actually remarkably surreal and tons of fun.
Yeah, the last thing in the world I want in my life is to be trapped inside Minecraft. So,
I mean,
That's your ironic hell.
Leon, you can like pull the fucking helmet off whenever you want.
I
but
know,
it's
but
like,
just seeing it around.
No,
me.
it's a cool experience because of how unreal it is.
We need to Clockwork Orange Leon into Minecraft. That would be like his Dante's Inferno. It's just like trapped in Minecraft. This is your hubris, Leon.
There was me. That is Leon.
You need to stop. All right, I'm done with this topic. I wish I had never brought it up.
It's my fault. This is on me. I take this one.
Yeah, I have a couple other things, but I'll shut up now. Anyone want to jump in to steal the microphone?
I watched a show this week.
Oh, fuck.
Cool. Tell me about it.
On Netflix. I watched a cartoon. It's called Hilda.
Didn't cool people do the music for that? That's all I know.
Grimes.
Yeah.
Grimes did at least the theme song. I don't know if she scored the rest of the soundtrack. But a listener suggested to me while I was working my way through Avatar: The Last Airbender, which I have finished, and was delightful. And I'm kind of surprised that it only lasted 3 seasons. But I sort of like that because it was finite. Should I watch? Quick interjection. Should I watch Korra, The Legend of Korra?
There are some strong moments in it, but I did not finish it because at a certain point it did not hold my attention, which is a pretty low bar for me.
Right.
So honestly, if it was gay the whole way through, I would say 100%. But it takes literally every episode but the last to get there. So.
Right. Okay. Leon?
Even then, isn't it only like hand holding?
Yeah,
I haven't seen.
They hold hands in the last frame.
It's a hat
Okay.
tip. I mean,
That's fine. I haven't seen any episode of either of those series, so I can't really speak to it.
All right. Well, listeners, feel free to tweet at me if you think I should watch The Legend of Korra. Anyways.
Well, before you go on, I was trying to lead you somewhere, Johnny, because Grimes did the theme song, but you know who did the score?
Who?
Dan Mangan.
Ah,
Okay.
my boy!
I know, the patron saint of Wordfunk. We talk about him pretty often.
Yeah.
But
That's
apparently,
fantastic. I did not know that Dan Mangan did the score for Hilda.
yeah, I don't know how much of it, but
Love you,
I'm looking at
Dan.
I'm looking at a headline right now which says Netflix's Hilda to feature theme song by Grimes and score by Dan Mangan and Ryan Carlson.
Oh.
So he's in there. He's in the mix.
That's beautiful. That makes me even feel more that makes me feel warmer about the show.
He has a new album coming out called More or Less.
Yes, and you should absolutely watch every music video from it, especially Troubled Mind.
Bangers.
Oh, absolute. I mean, one of them is kind of heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Fool for Waiting gives me the moistness.
I hate to get the moistness. I'm sorry I interrupted your Hilda conversation. I heard it's good.
It's all right. But yeah,
give me the moistness.
So a listener suggested to me on Twitter that I watch Hilda. It's a show created by Luke Pearson, who was a writer for Adventure Time. And I was really quite impressed. Like, it is a delightful show. It bears a kind of resemblance to Adventure Time in a certain sense, where it's about kind of like fantastical things that happen, but it's so tied to the real world, and there are consequences to what happens. Like, there's a narrative arc in this show. It's about a little girl, Hilda, and her mom, who live like way out in the middle of nowhere. And then, like, through the course of the series, they have to, like, move to the city, and she has to, like, meet new friends, and, like, they have these weird given things, like trolls exist, and there's this, like, the first or second episode is about how, like, she discovers that there's an entire nation of tiny elves that live right outside her house. But, like, you can only see the elves if you sign the correct, like, paperwork. So, like, one of the elves, like, shows up in her bedroom and is like, look, we have to talk. And, like, he has all these really tiny contracts that she has to, like, sign. And then she, like, walks out her front door, and there's just this, like, entire city. And he's like, yeah, so you've kind of been stepping on us this whole time. We have to do something about this. And it's so delightful, and it's so sincere, and it's so well scored, and it is delightful is really the only adjective I can truly use to describe it. It makes me smile. Like, I hope you guys can hear me smiling right now about how positive and like entertaining and just lovely this show is.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna watch it. It's on the big list.
Yeah. I recommend it to everybody. At first I was like, oh, like, this is kind of like kiddie, but then it just like it coalesces so well. And the Woodman is my favorite character. Absolutely.
We need more wholesome content.
We do. We need, like, especially in these times. We need.
I meant on this podcast specifically, but
yeah. we need things that make us feel good, because all three of us are terrible except for
Leon is the most wholesome of us, no doubt. I don't think anybody would dispute that.
What? I don't know.
Not wholesome. But Leon is just, like, probably the happiest of the three of them. Like, he's doing what he loves, and he's succeeding at it, whereas Austin and I are just horrible scumbags that hate everything.
Okay, wow. All right.
Love you, buddy.
I don't know.
You should both definitely watch Over the Garden Wall, or I'm going to beat you to death. So that's my wholesome moment.
I have been trying to watch that for, like, the longest time. Mm-hmm. And by trying to watch that, I mean, like, every 2 days or so, I go, oh yeah, Over the Garden Wall.
Anyway, back to my immersion circulator.
Right.
Hey,
cool.
That thing brings me unending delight.
I'm so happy for you.
Yeah.
Leon.
Yeah.
Talk to me.
Oh, I didn't have that much more to say this week. I did watch another James Bond movie, and it was also bad.
All you showed up with is Kanye and James Bond?
Oh, it's so bad. I hated it a lot. I have a little
All
bit
right,
more,
so
but I just went.
which James Bond movie did you hate this time?
Oh God, what was it even called? Oh, The Man with the Golden Gun.
Hervé Villechaize.
Whatever. They're all fucking the same. I'm sorry. They're all terrible. I have yet. Of the older ones, I have yet to find one I like.
What?
They're
Like
just,
not even Moonraker?
I haven't gotten there. I haven't.
Sorry.
I haven't gotten there yet. But yeah, like of I've seen every one of the 60s, and I'm well into the 70s now. They're just, I don't know, it's James Bond, and like M says, well, you know, 007, do the thing, and James Bond says, I should just quit. And then he's like, well, instead of doing that, here's your assignment. It's like, fine. And then he goes and does it. But here's the thing about action movies from that era. There's not that much action. He's mostly sitting around and talking to people and like checking the closet for stuff. He walks into his hotel room every time and he's like, I think I'll put something on my closet to see if anyone comes into my room and checks my closet. And sometimes they do, and it pays off, but usually it's nothing. It's I can't stand it.
Do you really think that On Her Majesty's Secret Service is the same as like every other James Bond film?
I can barely keep my eyes open during all of them. I will say that one, with George Lazenby, was a little bit better because it felt like there were stakes, you know?
Yeah.
Like you felt like, you know, oh, he actually cares about this woman, and maybe something, you know, maybe she's not like a disposable person. But, and, you know, I mean, spoilers, but she dies at the end, and that's kind of sad.
I know,
I guess.
but you know, it has impact, right?
I guess. Fair. That one scene, sure. The rest of it, again, no, not at all. I just felt nothing. I feel nothing for this complete, just scoundrel. I don't like this guy at all. I did like his poofy shirt in that one movie. Mm-hmm. So good on him.
Good shirt.
Good on him.
It's a good shirt.
It's a fine shirt. Beyond that, I just don't like anything that he does or says ever. It's like a terrible condemnation of the character.
I'm not defending James Bond as a character. I'm just saying that as far as I'm concerned, from the era, On Her Majesty's Secret Service stands out to me as being the one film that tried to evolve.
Yeah, it is definitely a movie that feels a little different from the others. Still didn't like it.
Fair enough.
I haven't liked any of them. I mean, I've seen Bond from later on. Like I've seen GoldenEye and the Daniel Craig ones. So I've seen most at this point, and I will get through the rest of them because I have to. But like I just. This is not as fun as I thought it would be. That's the thing. I made this project for myself. Like, oh, I should do an episode on James Bond. Maybe I should just watch all the James Bond movies so I can actually know what I'm talking about instead of just watching a few.
Can you do me a favor?
Okay. Yeah.
And also play the James Bond games for the Sega Genesis?
There's literally no way I'm also going to add another project into this project. There's no way. People keep asking me, oh, well, you know, you should also watch like the parody James Bond movie. No. And it's like, no, God, no. I have enough on my plate as it is. I'm not adding anything else into this. I'm going to watch the things that I'm going to watch.
What parody James Bond movie are they talking about?
Like early on, like there was another James Bond movie, but it wasn't like in the main canon of James Bond. It was like a farce. I don't remember even what it was called. I think it doesn't matter. But the point is, like, there's a bunch of like almost but not quite Bond movies that I could be watching also. I'm just not going to.
What you should really do is just watch Top Secret over and over again.
I don't even know what that is.
Really?
Okay.
You've never seen Top Secret?
I've never even heard of it. What are you talking about?
It was a movie that was like by the guys who did the Naked Gun movies, the Zucker brothers.
Ugh.
But before that, and it was like kind of a parody of spy movies and also sort of like Elvis musicals.
Okay, there's a lot of that Venn diagram really does cross over there.
Of the like airplane, like I'm talking early, not like
Okay.
like I'm not talking another teen movie or superhero movie or something.
I understand. I understand what you're saying, but like I just don't want to. I'm so disappointed with this. I really thought that I would watch them and be like, some of these are kind of fun. But no, they're it's just this scummy guy who just like abuses women, and he's like shitty, and mostly he sits around.
Yeah.
He just sits there a lot of the time.
And he presses
and
a
then
button.
he goes to like an exotic location and he finds the villain. But instead of fighting the villain, he has like a date with them every time. He's like they always have this like thing where it's like, well, Mr. Bond, instead of us killing each other because we hate each other, why don't you come to my island and just walk around for a while,
We'll have
and
BLTs.
I will show you. It's like that.
Yeah, I know.
It's like he's like romancing all of these villains right before he kills them. It's very strange. They know that they're enemies. It's not like he's undercover and then he rips off a mask like he's in Mission Impossible and it's like, shame you were James Bond this whole time. It's not like that at all. It's like, James Bond, my mortal enemy. Would you like a salad? It's like, what is happening? Why are you like this? Why are I don't get it.
I mean, it's a screenwriting trick to give the hero and the villain more time together before they have a showdown, because if they just walked into a room and James Bond shot him in the head, it would be a kind of a weird, lame movie.
But there's other...
I have to defend the scene in Casino Royale where he's playing cards with Mads Mikkelsen.
That's different. That's totally different, though.
I know.
Because they're...
I know.
Yeah, that's completely different because, like, they know they're adversaries, but they're both trying to do something, and there are a bunch of people around, so they have to, like, scowl at each other. So that makes sense. Like, heroes and villains, in movies, can have a lot of time on the screen together and not just fighting, but, like, as if they're just palling around, that doesn't work. Like, when Aladdin meets Jafar, he's like, oh, let's hang out for a while and then we'll fight. No, it's like they Aladdin's lying to him, and that's why they can be in the same room together without strangling each other. It's fine.
I mean, there's 100 of those stories. There's only so many times they can come up with an excuse to have them spend time together without it getting romantic. Also, part of the appeal of James Bond is not just that he's like the smartest, most badass killer dude, but also that he's very cultured and sophisticated. So being able to sit down and brutally joust is part of the fantasy.
He's one of those elites, isn't he, Austin?
He's not that sophisticated. I'm
But
sorry.
he is in a way that dumb people who like action movies think. They're like, I can also drink a wine in a restaurant.
He likes a weak martini.
Yep.
And he basically he just smacks women around. He's not sophisticated at all.
Okay, all right, look. The weak martini, all right?
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
on the job.
I understand. I get that. And I understand what you're saying, Austin, that he's like the idea of the sophisticated person for the person who is
the
not
audience is supposed to
sophisticated.
go, if I was a super cool assassin spy dude, I would also be very suave and have fancy dinners and then bang ladies.
It just
Right, no,
so happens that I'm not at this point in time. But don't worry, I'll be a super spy soon.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I understand why that is the way it is. I'm just saying that it's bad. That
What
it
if there was
is.
a James Bond movie where he sat down with the villain and he was like, yeah. Sorry, I'm laughing at my own joke before I can say it. And he was like, you ever hear that Abraham Lincoln might have been black? It really makes you think. Have you ever thought both sides might have a point? We should have
Oh my God.
We should open a dialogue, me and you.
Yeah. I would really. There's been a few of these scenes so far in James Bond movies where the villain says, you're not so different.
I know.
And always James Bond always says, here are all the key differences between us. And it's like I would really love a scene where like Scaramanga just kind of turns around in his chair and he's like, we're not so different, you and I. And James is like, you know what? You're right. I basically just kill people. Like, the only difference is it's legal for me to do it for some reason.
The only difference is you're a minority. Pew, pew!
Jesus. So yeah, I saw that. I also saw, did I mention that I saw the horror movie The Endless?
That sounds familiar. We had this whole conversation about how every horror movie is the something, and I can't keep them straight, but that was the lost episode you didn't publish because of all the horrible things we said.
Yeah.
We said a lot of things.
Yeah.
I would love to talk about The Endless, but I can't talk about why I love it so much without it just being basically spoiling the twist. And I know Johnny doesn't care about spoilers, but this is like the one instance where I think you might.
Okay.
I do.
It is. I mean, if I had just read,
see it? Where can I see it?
I think it might be on Netflix.
All right.
I don't know if it's on Canadian Netflix.
Well,
but
there are ways around.
There certainly are. What I'm saying is, don't read the Wikipedia to it, because it will. But just by reading the description of it, you'll know too much about it. That's a shame. And I watched it, and then when the thing happened, I'm like, I have never experienced a twist like this before. That is very good. So yeah, that's just something I want to recommend to people to watch. I do not recommend watching James Bond movies, except Skyfall, which is good, and it has good cinematography.
I did enjoy Skyfall, actually.
What if we market this episode as like a best of clip show? We just the classic bits: Kanye West, Dan Mangan, James Bond. All your favorites are here.
Do you guys remember Motorcycle Cop?
Yeah, it's just we don't have to do any work this week. Oh wait, we still would because it's a lie. Never mind. I was trying to think of how to get us out of this podcast, and then I realized my whole thing was built on a false premise. I am enraptured with the idea of Kanye West playing James Bond, though. People are always saying Idris Elba should be the first Black Bond, but Kanye would very much fit the ethos that they're trying to go for.
Oh my god. Especially if they wrote no dialogue for him.
Yeah, just he walks in the room, he's like,
just
scoop.
just freeball it,
Scoop de whoop, Mr. Blofeld.
Yeah.
Austin,
that would be the very...
Do you have things?
I want to say one more thing. I'm sorry. I was talking about my movies.
Sorry,
I'll say one more thing and then I'll shut up. I saw Jeremy Saulnier's new movie, Hold the Dark.
I was going to talk about that too.
Yeah.
That was going to be my thing. That's why I was going to ask Austin.
Do it now. Do it now. Do it now.
Okay. I liked it, but it wasn't what I was expecting from Jeremy Saulnier because it is a quieter movie than he normally does, but like I don't want him to just like get bored with his doing the same kind of material over and over again. So I appreciated that he decided to take kind of a left turn and do like a contemplative, I guess you could say, film. I rather liked it. It's a weird one, but I was into it.
I loved it.
Oh, it's strong film. Basically,
the location, cinematography, fucking like.
Oh, I loved it.
Jeffrey Wright is bloody amazing.
Oh, he's very good. Basically, the premise is that a man who wrote a book about hunting wolves is called by a woman who says that her son has been killed and taken by wolves. And what are you going to do about it?
In Alaska. And not just, not like Anchorage, but like distant, non-connected Alaska.
Yeah, they're in the middle of nowhere. Yeah. And then there are a bunch of twists and turns. I don't want to spoil anything. But it's
a sequel to 30 Days of Night. Sorry, I ruined it.
No, it and this is the thing. Jeremy Saulnier as a director does tension better than anyone else in the industry. At this point in time, I am entirely convinced of that. Like, I had the opportunity to finally watch Murder Party last month. Yeah. And then Blue Ruin, Green Room, Hold the Dark. tension is such an important part of all of those movies, and he kills it every time.
Yeah,
and
in Hold the Dark. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I was gonna say, and it's so different each time what kind of tension it is.
Yeah, in Hold the Dark, it's just a lot of atmosphere, and then all of a sudden, all hell breaks loose. It's quite good. Yeah, I would recommend this one as well. Cool.
Yeah, watch it. It's a beautiful movie in the first place. Like it captures the northwest better than like almost any movie I've ever seen.
Yeah. Also, one of the guys from True Blood is in it, so that was nice.
Yeah.
To see him get work.
And he's good.
Yeah, his creepy ass face. I don't mean that in like a bad way. Like he's a very handsome man, but he also can be pretty darn creepy. Yeah, it's not easy to do.
He is my favorite Skarsgård.
Yeah. It's hard to be scary when you're also just so sexy. But
no, honestly hard disagree.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
Sorry.
It's really easy to be sexy when you're scary.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I don't know. That's not a thing for me, but then again, that's me. So I'll just take your word for it.
The fact that Leon is yeah.
No, go on.
I've said Leon's never heard of the big titty goth GF meme, and it's just impossible to imagine he lives online.
I just watched Shape of Water this past week.
Yeah.
And that's a sexy scare.
There's a word for it. Scare roused. Come on.
Is it? Okay. I mean, that's a solid title. So even if it's not, that might be it.
Is it? It's not Kanye Bond. Oh my god. George Bush does not care about black people. Q, I swear to God.
But President Trump does.
Oh my god. Y'all need to stop. All right, Austin.
By the way, I'm just going to slide this in right here. The Shape of Water made me cry.
It's a very good movie.
Do you think the fish was sexy?
Say again, Austin?
Was the fish sexy?
Yeah, that's right.
There wasn't any scenes in the movie where besides the cat part, there wasn't any scenes in the movie where the fish was trying to be scary.
No, but like they imply it, like, you know, the torn off fingers and like how.
Okay.
Like
fair.
Power inherently is scary.
All right. All right. We're going down like some weird
psychosexual rabbit hole.
Yeah, like let's stop.
Safe word.
Austin, tell me.
Corduroy.
Austin, why don't you go ahead with your thing so we get some of you before we do questions.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always more of me. Do you guys want to talk about Star Trek some more?
Yeah. I mean, I usually do.
Because I'm still watching. I saw a couple more episodes of Deep Space Nine, and I think if I was going to talk about anything this week, I would want to talk about Q.
Oh, it's the worst Q episode that there is.
It's extremely bad, and I think we talk about the character in general, but also it's just weird because I just referenced the James Bond character Q. That is his name, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They in the first season of Deep Space Nine, they were like, "How can we make people watch this?" And we'll just use some of the characters. And it's not good. There's one good part of that episode, and it's when Cisco just punches the shit out of Q in his face.
Yeah.
That was very good. He's like, "You're not Picard." It's like, "Yeah, motherfucker."
Yeah, he's like, Picard never hit me.
Yeah, right. I mean, that was actually kind of cool. But besides that, like, I could pass with that whole thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, go ahead.
So let's start at the beginning. Almost every Star Trek begins with a super powerful life form kidnapping or testing the crew in some way. Like, Voyager gets taken by the caretaker, and the Deep Space Nine crew encounters, like, non-linear aliens. I don't know if they got a name.
They're the prophets.
The Next Generation, they meet Q. John Delancey is his name, right? The actor?
Yep.
Who's like, I am part of the Q continuum. We are not like individuals. We're like, we're weird and mysterious, and we have knowledge you can never understand. And we are judging you humans and your barbarisms. and there's like a bad, weird trial, and then he lets them go because they pass it or whatever. It's not a great episode.
It's very bad. It's a very bad episode.
And then he comes back later. This is all I've seen so far. He comes back later and he gives Riker his powers. So now Riker is like a god, and Riker actually kind of falls for it. And he's like, ha ha ha, I'm a god. And all the other people on the ship are like, that ain't it, dog. Nah.
Ain't taking that pill, yo.
Yeah. They basically shame him into giving it up, and that passes his test again, and they all go free. Although there's like an implication that Q is in trouble. I don't know how that works out. That's the Next Generation. So I'm also watching simultaneously Deep Space Nine.
That's part of the Next Generation.
Yeah.
You missed the part where Q falls in love with Deanna Troy's mom.
Yeah, I've met Deanna Troy's mom. She is a lot.
Yeah, there's an episode where Q is like, ooh la la.
Okay, he has not been a Hornt in Next Generation yet. When he shows up in Deep Space Nine, he is not only a Hornt, he is, and I'm just going to say it, rapey.
Yep.
He starts shoving people onto beds and not taking no for an answer for, I don't know, 30, 40 minutes? How long's an episode of Deep Space Nine? Over and over, she says no, and he says, actually, yes. And it fucking grossed me out, so... the character is something that pops up in a lot of Star Trek, and the concept is, I would argue, pretty central to Star Trek, constantly judging humanity and comparing the idyllic Roddenberry future with our barbaric capitalist past, and Q is a vehicle for that. So it's important to the entire thematic underpinnings. And as much as Q is, I think, beloved, like I knew about this character before I watched it, all his appearances so far have sucked pretty bad.
I don't know beloved is the right word so much as iconic.
Okay.
Yeah, there are a couple good Q episodes. I don't want to like tell you exactly how they shake out because you're watching it, but there are a couple really good Q episodes. You have not gotten to them.
Yeah, I got that.
Yeah, that's for sure. There's one. I think it's like years into it. So a lot of people really love the Q episode Tapestry. I don't like that episode, but I'm like in the very, very small minority.
Which one is that, Leon? Just
it's one where
Trek to Trek.
It's the one where Captain Picard his heart explodes and Q lets him go back in time.
Got it. Yeah.
I have issues with that episode.
I love that episode.
I know everyone does except me. I'll explain why when Austin gets to it.
Okay, that's something to look forward to.
Yeah, but yeah, I feel you about that Q episode, Austin. It is the worst Q episode, and that's not Q shows up in Voyager too, and he's better there, honestly.
I mean, the whole thing is he's like nigh omnipotent. He has like knowledge far beyond us. He's above our customs and culture, and yet also rapey. Why? Like, how does that fit?
Well,
he's
the Voyager episodes kind of explain that.
Yeah.
Oh, there's backstory.
Yeah.
We learn more about him as time goes on. In the Next Generation, he's mostly just like a foil for Picard.
Yeah.
And then in Voyager, Voyager kind of humanizes him in a way, but he's still like
a jerk.
He's still kind of a jerk. He's just not quite what he was. It's very strange that he's existed for billions of years, and yet he goes through an incredible amount of character development over only a few.
I think it might speak to the writer's inability to grasp something that is truly above humanity. At the end of the day, they kind of just write him like a arrogant human.
Yeah, it's like when someone tries to write a genius character, but you're not a genius, so this is hard for you to do. They just do genius shorthand, and they're like, oh, I bet if they solve a Rubik's cube real quick,
equation,
the audience will immediately know that this person is a genius. It's like, okay, cool. I get you. Yeah, Q actually is not one of my favorite Trek villains. He's just an iconic Trek villain. Most of my favorite Trek villains are on Deep Space Nine because we get a lot of time with them.
Are the Cardassians good? It seems like they're the main villain.
The Cardassians are a central villain group, I'll just say, in Deep Space Nine.
They're more complex. Like,
they're more complex.
Villain alliance.
Let's not spoil it, but the Cardassians are important characters. Gul Dukat, who I think you've met already, he is a very important villain.
He has quite a menacing energy.
One of the best fucking characters that Star Trek has ever come up with.
Yeah, he's my favorite antagonist. But again, like, there are moments where even he is kind of humanized. It's actually kind of interesting. But I don't want to ruin Star Trek for you.
Yeah.
I'm so proud of you for watching it.
It seems like the Cardassians don't really have a hat, as it were. There's this thing in like science fiction writing, the idea of the planet of hats, where every planet is defined by like one thing. So like the Ferengi are the capitalists.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
They're militaristic fascists, but there's other.
But isn't that also the Klingon?
No, the Klingons are not. They're not.
They're like warriors.
The Klingons are honor-bound warriors.
Yeah, they're obsessed with honor, whereas a Cardassian is obsessed with the state.
Yeah, order.
Okay.
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
fascism is their thing.
Yeah, they are. They are space fascists. There are a lot of episodes where there are a couple different episodes in The Next Generation and Deep Space Nine where we actually get to see their legal system happen, and it is frightening.
Yeah.
There
are four lights.
Yeah, there really are. There's a lot of that stuff. I don't want to give it away, but yeah, you might be interested in the Cardassians as time goes on.
Do you find it at all distracting that they're so close to the Kardashians?
You know what? Like, I've gotten over that joke.
It predates it by like 20 fucking years.
Well, it doesn't predate the actual Kardashians.
In the popular culture, yeah.
Yes, but it definitely... Well, wait.
Well, hold on. What if Star Trek reboot, the Kardashians are played by the Kardashians, and...
Wait a minute.
And honorary Kardashian, Kanye West.
Austin.
I don't know, Robert Kardashian.
Austin.
Yeah, he's married to Kim. I'm saying he could show up in this reboot.
Austin.
Playing James Bond.
Do you feel a wind across your face right now?
And then Q from James Bond can meet Q from Star Trek. It's all coming together, boys.
That's me slapping you.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't really have much more to say. That just isn't straight up spoilers.
What do you think about the device in Star Trek of the all-powerful, omnipotent god alien who just kind of does whatever? Because it happens in every series I've watched. A lot.
I mean, if you're talking about, well, in Deep Space Nine, the prophets are not all-powerful aliens that do just whatever. They're kind of enigmatic. What they really want is sort of unclear for a lot of the series. They're definitely not there to test humanity. They didn't even care about human beings until one showed up.
They were judgy about Sisko and his wife's death. They're like, "You live here?" And they're like, "Why don't you go to therapy?"
That's not exactly what they said. But
Voyager is the same though. It's not like I brought you here to judge you. It's like, hey, I need your blood.
Yeah, it is revealed that it's actually something more mundane, but it had the same feeling.
Right. I understand, but they're variations on a similar theme. Yeah. I understand that, but the prophets are not like Q because the prophets are not. They're not there to judge humanity, and they're not. I mean, they're not bad guys.
They kind of just hang out with themselves for the most part.
Yeah. They're in it for
what's up, Steve? I'm good, right, Steve. How are you, Steve? I'm good. How's other Steve doing? Great.
Yeah, they do care. Oh my God. Okay. I don't want to get into too much because again, everything I say just sounds like it's going to be a spoiler, and I just want you to enjoy it. But yeah, the prophets are nothing like Q except that they have power, I guess.
But
right.
TNG is still the most charismatic show.
All right. So we have about 5 minutes for questions. I did play another video game I can talk about pretty briefly. Have you guys heard of Night in the Woods?
I have, no. Yes.
All right. So do you know anything about it? Have you played it? Interests, thoughts?
I'm into it. I have played it, but It's I'm well aware of its themes.
Um, sorry for the listeners. Leon just escaped the call because he heard video games. He ran away. You'll probably edit out the part where he goes sprinting out of the room. So Night in the Woods is basically a point and click adventure, although that's honestly not really. It's you walk from left to right talking to people, and then occasionally there's a little mini game. It is the story of a girl who comes, or woman, I guess, who comes back from college. She dropped out for reasons that aren't clear, goes back to the hometown where she grew up, which is economically depressed, and kind of reconnects with her scumbag friends, and they do crime, and they're in a band together, and some spooky things happen in the town, because, I mean, it's called Night in the Woods, right? It's a little spooky. But the majority of the game is spent kind of reflecting on small town, mundane horror. Just the collapse of infrastructure, people who can't find work, people who can't... I mean, they just explicitly talk about like stuff like unions and homelessness, and it is very explicitly and unapologetically millennial sentiment. It's like I describe the game to people as like gay millennial furries because all of the characters are anthropomorphic animals. The main character is a cat and so forth. And they just kind of they just feel like sad millennial feelings. Like most of the people in the game have the kind of relatable problems that we do. Like they have to work shit jobs they don't care about. Like maybe one of their parents is sick. Just that kind of stuff. And it's funny as fuck. Like I painted a pretty depressing picture. The best part of it is that the dialogue, it feels extremely authentic. Like they talk the way me and my friends talk. Yeah. But it is also sad, and it is, it's sometimes a little too real. Like it just does stuff. The best characters in the game are probably this queer couple. And if you talk to them enough, you kind of figure out that they want to leave this small town because they're the only queer kids in the entire town. And it's just like, even if they aren't like explicitly being given a hard time by people, it just is incredibly lonely for them.
Yeah.
And it's just like all those feelings and stuff. I joked with my friend Lauren, who you would know if you listen to my other podcast, Dice Funk.
Hi, Lauren.
Hi, Lauren.
But I joked with her, like, this is a game about you. Like, they made a game that is your biography because, like, she would not mind me sharing this. We talked about this on air before, but like that is her biography. Like she dropped out of college and she's from a small town and she has like these gay friends and they do crime together. Like it's 100% just a game about her life, except they're all anthropomorphic animals. It's extremely good. I believe the creator's name is Scott Benson. He's on Twitter. He's, if not in the DSA, he's like a big leftist, I don't know if you want to call him like activist. He's out there constantly. He guys got a big following talking about that stuff. It's a pro-union game. Like it's all of our shit. So I think anyone in our audience would love it. Obviously, the soundtrack fucking slaps. The title screen, I can't believe how hard the title screen song goes in. It just does, and it blows me away every time. The only criticism I have for this entire game, which is wild because I'm a video game critic by trade, I could find faults in pretty much any game. It's impeccable the whole way through. It's such a small team, but the only thing I would say is that the conclusion of the spookiness, like forget all of like the social commentary and the queer stuff and the millennial feelings, like there's a spooky thing happening in town, and the conclusion of that, it didn't work for me. So that's the only thing I have to say about that. Like,
it turns out that the owner of the amusement park was doing it all along.
That part of the game, I could have. It could have worked out differently for me, I think.
Let me Scooby-Doo it, all right?
Yeah, absolutely. But all of the emotional stuff, it hits the perfect notes. It's just the funniest shit ever. The character Greg is like the best video game character in history. He fucking rules. It's just incredibly heartfelt, incredibly queer. It's incredibly salient for our times. All of its messages are just factually correct, which I think is important these days. I don't know if I could recommend Night in the Woods any higher. Also, I think everyone knows, right? Like this was like Game of the Year contender when it came out, so it's not a secret or anything. I'm the last one to this party, and I'm just like, wow, have you guys checked out this party? It's so good. And everyone's already left. So, it's
Quick
just me now.
aside, Austin,
Mm.
have you checked out Where the Water Tastes Like Wine?
I have not. I heard that it's uneven because it's by a bunch of different, diverse writers who did different parts of the game.
I think you should play it.
Okay. I mean, I assume you have. Do you have thoughts?
It's
Yeah.
it's diverse, it's complex.
Yeah.
It allows it does great storytelling. I'll say that. Because I'm not even sure that I've experienced the whole game.
Yeah, it's like non-linear and like there's a bunch of vignettes and
You
stuff. I haven't
basically
played it, but, yeah.
wander across the country and meet characters. One of them voiced by Sting.
Video games
No,
are so stupid.
I'm dead serious, actually.
I know.
But yeah, it's a narrative accomplishment. Absolutely.
Speaking of narrative accomplishments, have you finished Kentucky Route Zero? I'm about to fire that up any day.
No, I haven't. Is the last episode out?
I thought it was, which is why I was reminded, like, oh yeah, I have to play that. But I don't know, maybe I'm an idiot.
I played like the first 3, and I was like, oh shit, I have to actually wait and play this like in full.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, video games are weird, huh? Hi, Leon, you're back.
Yeah, sorry. I didn't leave just because we were talking about video games.
Yeah,
I just had
shut up.
I had to go in the other room.
Because there was no video games there.
But I am back, and we can talk about questions now.
We can. What's funny, though, I think if any video game, and I know we've played this deadly game before, and I always lose, but if I was going to recommend any game to you, it would be something like Night in the Woods, because you just click on animals, and they talk about their feelings. That's it.
Okay. That sounds good.
There's, like, a couple times where you play, like, a mini game, but there's no penalty for losing. All they do is, like you go to band practice, and if you don't push the right buttons, they're like, you didn't do very good. And and the character you're playing is like, yeah, I don't know this song.
There we go. Austin, we have to get Leon to play Night in the Woods and Kentucky Route Zero, which is
We
basically
really do.
David Lynch's video.
Yeah. It was basically pitched as Lynchian. I'm very excited to play it.
All right.
Okay.
Questions. First one. Let's see. Matthew B. Hare, at Matthew B. Hare on Twitter, asks, what's a good local horror story from where you grew up? I have a good one for this. There was a house on my block where apparently, we were told, there was a hammer murder. That's all the kids ever talked about. I don't know any details. I don't know if it was true. It's just something everyone told everyone was someone got murdered with a hammer there. And so it was like our spooky house in the neighborhood that like people were, dare each other to go into the yard or whatever. And I feel like I should be able to look up if that's true. And I have never expended that effort. Maybe I don't want to know.
Okay. I'm trying to think of one.
I don't really have one. Like I moved around a lot as a kid, so
the ghosts couldn't catch you.
No, that whole urban legend thing never sat in. Like I would spend 2 or 3 years in one town, 1 year in another, or so on and so forth. Like I didn't get to British Columbia, where I am now, until I was 13. And at that point in time, I had lived in like 8 different cities.
I can't really think of any. I mean, I was born in Baltimore, so like bad things definitely happened around me, but never like a witch.
You just had like someone actually got shot by the police. Spooky.
Yeah.
That's the spookiest of all crimes.
Yeah.
Right, especially because we don't know who did it.
Yeah. Yeah, I can't really. I'm sorry, I can't really think of one.
That's fine.
I really liked scary stuff when I was a kid and Halloween and all that good stuff. But I don't think there was anything like that I recall.
We got a question here from Oliver Fearon at OP Fearon on Twitter. What kind of coverage does Jeremy Corbyn's Labour Party receive in American and Canadian media? Do you guys?
None really in American media. I know about him because of my timeline and the people who I follow. But it never comes up on the news in the cable news networks that I watch. That's not to say that it never has, but it can go completely unnoticed by me, a person who watches the news a lot. So yeah, we don't do that. I don't know how to say
we don't do that. The only time I remember hearing
America.
about Jeremy Corbyn in the actual mainstream news was when he won, and when J.K. Rowling denounced him in the the run up to the election, because she supports Labour, but she's like, this Jeremy Corbyn, he's so extreme. He wants to make things better instead of just controlling the party. There's a whole conversation to be made about her and her garbage. Anyway, Johnny, Canadian perspectives?
Yeah, in Canada, I guess we get a little bit more because we're Commonwealth. The exposure I get is I'm
loving this classic Johnny pause.
No, it's like I'm trying to find the right adjective.
No, that's fine.
It's just, sometimes we get this thing where like Jeremy Corbyn calls out Theresa May, Brexit, blah blah blah. And other times it's like Jeremy Corbyn rides a bike.
Yeah, I hear that stuff from like leftists I follow on social media and like leftist podcasts I listen to, where there'll be like actual discussions of policy stuff or fake scandals like, oh, is he anti-Semitic or whatever bullshit people made up to slander him. Like, I get that from other sources, but the mainstream media, almost nothing.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we get a little bit in Canada because we still like NATO.
Honestly, if this was a different kind of show, we could just do an episode on that, but people aren't here for that garbage. You know what they are here for? Pop culture and tenuous ties to the news. Can we just take an aside here to talk about J.K. Rowling? Because it's been burning up inside me.
Let's do it.
What the fuck is her problem?
She can't make a new thing.
She can, though. She can do anything she wants. She could literally release a photo book of her bowel movements. Yeah. If it struck her fancy.
But she can't make a good new thing?
I don't even know if that's true. Has she tried?
Yeah.
Okay, so for people who have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about, she is ostensibly progressive. I think she is almost like the dictionary definition of neoliberal. People ask a lot, like, what does that even mean? It's just J.K. Rowling is what it means. She's against homophobia, she's against racism, but she's not against any of the economic conditions which create those phenomena.
Right, because, why would you want to take her money away?
Yeah, the person who famously wrote her best-selling novel while on the dole thinks people should just work harder. But
she worked her way there.
Mm-hmm.
I am John Galt.
Jesus Christus. I don't know if we can go too far down this rabbit hole, but her whole, like, every week she spins a wheel and announces a new diversity thing that was secretly in Harry Potter the whole time. It was never good, but in the light of Johnny Depp starring in her movie, it's extremely gross. And her refusal to stop being so publicly like that, capital L, capital T like that, is obnoxious, and recently culminated in the announcement that an Asian woman would be playing a snake. And we got questions about that on last week's Word Funk. We didn't get to them, and I don't know what else we can say at this point, but it is very classically the kind of people who are ostensibly on our side but don't understand. And I just want to shake that entire ideology. It's not enough to be...
Not enough people in the room.
I get it. She's trying to be good. She's trying to be inclusive. It's just, you can't just tweet Dumbledore's gay and it fixes poverty.
J.K. Rowling is inclusive in the way a 30-year-old Star Trek episode is,
Yeah.
where, except with less effort.
Yeah.
So I don't even want to give her a gold star. There also she sometimes she just says like shitty things and retweets transphobic shit.
Yes.
That I'm not into. So it just seems like she's clueless. And I guess you could say I'm not a big fan of her. Like I wouldn't want to hang out with her is what I'm trying to say. I guess that's my point, which is I guess doesn't mean a lot.
I forgot about the turf stuff. Jesus. She is just like old lady who's trying her best, but it's not like she doesn't have the resources to try harder. Like, just try.
She's kind of like a grandmother who wants her kids to be happy, but like doesn't want to know too much about their lives because she doesn't get it.
Oh, it's okay. Gam Gam will get you a gay. You want a gay? Yeah, it's frustrating because she is like a hero to like the resistance, to the Dems, to the libs, who people, lump us into, or maybe I'm speaking too broadly. My people, I guess, my beliefs are supposedly on the same side, but I constantly want to kick her into the hole from 300 when I see her tweet, and it's frustrating. But I don't know. She has more power than I ever will, so she's winning. Jesus. Maybe this will be more fun. Lauren Cates at Lauren Cates asks, Law Corner, can you talk about Daddy Musk's plea bargain? Do you guys hear about Elon Musk? He got in trouble.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he's bad. I mean, we've been saying it for a while, but now it's official.
Yeah,
I guess
it's a deal for $20 million.
So yes, when this happened, I talked about it because it was wild that, basically he tweeted that he was taking Tesla private and he had secured funding for $4.20 a share. And this was not true. It was securities fraud he committed openly. And I joked, if only we lived in a country with laws, he would see consequences. But of course we don't, and he never will. So I am pleasantly surprised he has been fined $20 million and has been ousted from, he's still the CEO, but he's not on the board anymore, I believe is the arrangement.
He'll be fine.
He will be fine. Yeah, first of all, he will be fine.
Taken off as chairman. Oh, geez. What a penalty.
Yeah, and it's not like he's going to jail, right? Like, he's just going to have to buy one less rocket or something. So, yeah,
he does like rockets.
He does.
Man, rich white guys are so oppressed.
Oh, my God.
So, yeah, long story short is that the SEC did, bring charges and he settled. It's more complicated than that. There's, like, a whole framework because it's an administrative apparatus, and it's not actually, like, a settled in court lawsuit. And I could bore you guys with the details, but he's fine. Like, this isn't that big of a deal for him, honestly. If anything, the most interesting thing to come out of this was, if you actually read the filings, the SEC said basically that Tesla is kind of a smokescreen. Like, they actually went easy on him because he's the only thing keeping the company, like, solvent. Like, it's not actually worth all that much. It's mostly just a ego-driven...
Do you figure... Like, a company that expends so much money to make sports cars for super rich people who want to feel better about themselves.
That's the thing, though. It's not really doing much of anything. Like, it's one of those kind of companies whose whole model is to become a very valuable brand and then, like, ride off its name. It's a very
and not
Silicon
actually
Valley
sell
thing.
anything.
Yeah.
So years ago, when Tesla started its thing, I was like, sweet, I can't wait until they come out with a car that's actually, consumer affordable and sensible. That was like fucking 8 years ago. And they still haven't been like, hey, how about we do a sedan? They're bullshit. Tesla is bullshit.
Oh my god, I can't even believe we didn't talk about this. So fucking, I swear to God, I'm sorry, but it's happening. Kanye West was invited to Pitbull's school. Pitbull, the musical artist, apparently runs a school. Kanye West was invited there, and he jumped up on a lunchroom table and started shouting, "Leave Elon Musk alone!" There's video of this. It sounds fake, but there's video of it.
Both of you can rot in hell.
Yeah. Who knew that Pitbull would be the guy I respect more in this story? Like, I don't know anything about him except, like, I'm not into his music, but apparently he, like, has a school. I guess that's good.
Yeah, if he's giving back to his community, he's literally an objectively better person than every other person we've talked about on this episode.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Good for you, Pitbull.
Go Pitbull. Yeah.
If that is in fact what's happening, I haven't looked into it. Maybe it's a charter school scam. Who knows? Anyway, so long story short of this Elon Musk thing, it's cool that there actually was consequences. He will be fine. I cannot believe that him and Grimes are still together, because it's kind of Grimes' fault that this happened.
Wait, they're still together?
I don't know.
All right. First of all, it's definitely not Grimes' fault that this happened. This is all on Elon Musk.
He said under oath that he announced this fraudulent thing because he wanted to impress her that he knew 420 was a weed thing.
Yeah,
that's his
not
fault,
her,
though.
That's him.
You're right. That's fair.
100% his fault. It's his dick's fault.
I was
really.
being loose with the word fault there. That's on me.
Yeah.
I smoked weed with Joe Rogan. Isn't that hilarious?
Oh my God.
But yeah, this whole thing came about because apparently Azalea Banks was at their house, I guess at Elon Musk's house, and Grimes was there, and he was on drugs and crying, and Azalea Banks fucking narked on them, and it was amazing. And it's just, he is men are too unstable to have that much money and power. They're too emotional. I don't think they should be able to have leadership positions until they can demonstrate that they're calm and rational.
Okay.
Absolutely. Especially if they like beer quite a lot.
Fuck off.
Okay. Pitbull's school is in Little Havana in Miami. It's the neighborhood where he grew up, and it is run by a nonprofit.
Hell yeah, Pitbull.
Also, apparently after...
Pitbull is the best person that we've talked about in this episode. How is that?
Apparently, after Hurricane Maria, Pitbull started using his private plane to bring cancer patients from Puerto Rico to the United States for treatment. So,
what if this dude's ruled the whole time, and we've never?
I don't know how. I mean, I don't know how often he did it, but apparently it was a thing.
Look, if you do that once, that's great.
Yeah, right.
Like,
no, even once would be really
he
cool.
Didn't just do it once and then show up in front of a camera and be like, I'm the best Pitbull ever.
Yeah, I mean, still.
Nobody. Who knows this? Who?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Tell me.
Right.
We have to start standing Pitbull on this show.
Oh my God, we absolutely have to.
Yeah. It apparently was not a big story. The article where I'm reading it from is on Mashable, which is a fine publication, I guess, but it's not like CNN or anything. So he didn't get a lot of publicity for it. I think he just wanted to, and that's nice, I guess. Yeah, Pitbull, greater than Kanye West.
Hero of the people, revolutionary hero, Marxist, presumably.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Redistributing his wealth.
Yeah.
Love you, bro.
Okay, let's do another question.
Please don't be awful, Pitbull. This is going to bite us in the ass. Next question, Bound by the Curve, at Bound by the Curve on Twitter asks, where were you during the first presidential national alert?
Oh, I was in my... Well, I wasn't in my car. I walked to my car and got it back into my car, and my phone was there, and it had a message, and it said the thing that it says on everyone's. And I was kind of looking forward to it because I thought that there was a chance I could message back. Not that he would actually see it. But that
you would explain what this is? Because John, you're Canadian. Do you even know what we're talking about?
I've seen the news.
Okay.
I mean, my short answer is I was in bed having a nap, and I didn't get it. So fuck off.
Right. Yeah, basically, I was hoping that obviously this isn't actually the president texting us.
Yes.
It's just called the presidential alert, and it's like an emergency thing that apparently the president has some control over, but he's not individually texting America. That's kind of like people are kind of like misunderstanding it. And so I wasn't expecting to text back the president, but I did want to text back the government for doing this.
Just to make some FBI guy read, like, huff my shorts. And he has to live with that.
Yeah, that's basically what I wanted to do. I wanted to say that Donald Trump has a shit dick or something. I think that was I was settling on.
That's NSA.
But,
the NSA would read that one.
Yeah, but unfortunately, it's just an alert, an Amber Alert.
They would pass
you
it
get.
to DARPA. I mean,
yeah, they would basically. It's just an alert. It's not a text. People keep saying like, "Oh, you're getting texted by the president." No, you're not. You're getting an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
That's basically it. You're getting a push notification. It was kind of disappointing, in fact. I mean, I didn't want it there at all, but if I did want it there, I wanted it to be a two-way communication. Instead, it's bullshit, and it's meaningless. So, yeah, that's basically it. How about you, Austin? What's your big story about the nothing that happened today?
I mean, I forgot it was going to happen because it was supposed to happen like 2 weeks ago, and they didn't because they literally can't do their jobs. And I was playing Fire Emblem on my phone when it popped up, and I actually didn't read it because I was just like tapping, it popped up, and I just clicked out of it. So I actually, until I got up off my phone, went to check, the internet or whatever on my computer and saw people talking about it. I didn't realize what it was. I assumed it was a severe weather alert because we get those constantly in Florida.
you don't say.
And basically, anytime it rains hard enough to take down a telephone pole in my area, which is like once a month, I get one of those, and it's exactly the same, like noise and box and everything on the phone. I literally didn't give it a second thought because I wasn't going to go outside. I had already taken my walk for the day, so I was like, not relevant to me. And then I got on Twitter, and everyone was like, "Oh, the president just texted me," and I was like, "Oh fuck, that's what that was." So,
yeah. Yeah, it reads presidential alert is like the person sending it, and then the message is, "This is a test of the National Wireless Emergency Alert System. No action is needed." And it's like, okay, so this is like a fire drill. This is like a waste of my time.
Yeah, just in case his lover decides to spark up a nuke.
God.
And,
It can't-
and
it can't.
kiss him with the atom.
oh,
I just realized, like, I could just tweet Donald Trump that he has a shit dick.
I bet that's going to be a
fine.
fruitful. That's the kind of communication, the kind of conversation that Ye thinks we should start with people who disagree with us
And remember, he can't block you.
legally.
Legally.
He would never break the law.
Yeah. Never.
No.
Total upstanding. Total slant standing.
Jesus.
Total standing citizen.
Here's a question that I think is just for me. Decibel at Deci_Bell UK asks, favorite Yu-Gi-Oh monster card? Johnny, do you have one before I talk?
No.
Nah.
You're talking below my generation.
Got him. So this is all about me. This is me time.
Although,
yeah.
Decibel.
Hello. I used to play Yu-Gi-Oh! There's an episode of this very show called Austin Won a Yu-Gi-Oh! Tournament because I did. That's the thing that happened. So I actually know a lot about Yu-Gi-Oh! If I had to pick one, I would probably say Penguin Soldier because he's very cute. I'm also fond of Kuribo, who's a little like green-footed furball guy. And I mean my most critical card when I played and the what really made the difference in the tournament I won was a card called Cyber Jar, which is a very good card. So, I mean, it depends on how I'm feeling. Definitely Penguin Soldier for cuteness, Cyber Jar for effectiveness, and Kuribo is also very good. So, Johnny, I'm going to assign you one. I'm going to say you're more of a dark magician. And I'm going to say Leon is a Red Eyes Black Dragon. So,
All right.
and
I'm
once
cool
again,
with being a dark magician.
yeah, it's good. And once again, Leon left when I started talking. It's kind of a thing we do. It's like a little game.
I'm sorry.
It's a little game we play. But while you were gone, Leon, and you're not allowed to check while you're editing. But I did something for you, and it's a little present from me to you. But you're not allowed to know about it. So
And
Okay.
it was warm.
do not edit it out.
From the heart.
We'll see. I mean, maybe. Yeah. Sorry, I have to. My stomach hurts, so I have to keep walking out of the room to not die.
Okay. We're almost out of time here, but it is now October, the spookiest month, so we might as well hit this one. Jade Skellington. That's just at Jade the Thief. Jade, Doctorate of Questions, of course.
Hi, Jade.
Yep. Asks, are you planning to watch any horror movies this month?
Sure, tons.
Are there any coming out? Leon, you keep up on new movie releases.
I'm going to be seeing the new Halloween. I'm really excited for that one.
It looks good.
Actually. Yeah, I know.
That's amazing. A Halloween movie looks good for the first time in decades, it seems.
Yeah, really. So, yeah, looking forward to that. Does Venom count as a horror movie? I don't know.
I heard it's a comedy.
They bumped it down to PG-13.
Yeah, I mean, a PG-13 horror does exist, but yeah, I'm not going to. I mean, I will be seeing it, but I don't think that's a horror movie.
Yeah, none of us have seen it.
Endless because somebody I really respect recommended it to me like a few minutes ago.
All right, well, go for it. Yeah, I'm gonna see Halloween. I'm sure there are other movies I'm gonna see. I just off the top of my head, I can't remember.
I mean, I probably will. I'm not. I don't keep up with the latest movie releases. Should I see Venom? I hear it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna see it tomorrow, and I'll report back. But or if not tomorrow, then over the weekend. But yeah, I hear it's bad, but in a way that's fascinating. So that I'm curious, I guess, and like I don't, it's whatever. I'm gonna see it.
We're all agreed that Tom Hardy gets a pass on this.
Sure. I mean, bad, I'm not gonna think badly about Tom Hardy, even if he's in a bad movie. I mean, he does that sometimes. Whatever.
All right, so we're all gonna see Venom and talk about it next week. Is that the plan?
I want to see Mandy.
You want to see what?
Mandy?
Yeah, the Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna see that too.
I heard it's extremely good, but I don't know.
I've heard very good things about it. What is it? It's from the same director as what is it? Under the Black Rainbow or
Beyond the Black Rainbow?
Sorry.
Beyond the Black Rainbow.
Beyond the Black Rainbow. Yeah.
I like that one.
Yeah, that's probably a promising word funk topic. We're about out of time, so you guys want me to do another one, or you want to take us out, Leon?
I want to leave. It's nothing against you guys at all. I just don't feel well, and I would like to stop.
That's all right. I can respect that.
Okay. Yeah. I don't have like a closer. Oh yeah, I did want to say one more thing. Shout out to Gritty, who is apparently the new we co-opted anti-fascist mascot now. I'm really into that. Oh my God. So I'm excited to see how that develops. I'm looking forward partly to see like how that shows up in protests, but also just the memes.
Just Google it. Just Google it.
I'm looking forward to that. And that's what I have to say about that.
All right. Last thoughts. It's the name's West. Kanye West. Ba-da-da-da-da-da. That's how the song goes.
I am tossed.
We're still Tosk. Yeah, I was thinking about doing that this week, because it's just insist on being called Tosk, and I didn't go through with it.
No, we shouldn't. There can be only one Tosk. Actually, I think the point of the episode is that's not true. Oh. But okay.
Every time we say the words Kanye West, can you edit in that stinger from GoldenEye?
No, there's way too much effort for this show. I believe someone tweeted at you today, Austin, like, what is even word funk? And you said, like, don't watch it. And then I co-signed that, basically.
I'm going to release a director's cut of this episode where I take the sound file of this that stinger from GoldenEye and just insert it every time we talk about Kanye West. It's only available on my Patreon.